would you do if you walked into the room? What would you do if you walked into the room? What would you do if you walked into the room? What would you do if you walked into the room?
Good morning, family. Thank y'all for clicking on this video. This week, man, has really been about trusting God and being able to work through the uncertainty. One of our biggest challenges we've faced is navigating financial uncertainty and not knowing how things are going to get paid during this season of entrepreneurship, and also managing 2 girls in our household, but also feeling 100% obedient and knowing that we are on the path that God has called us to. And over, our needs are continually being met, just how the people were. And during the Exodus, God would deliver them, and the next day they would have a new list of complaints. That's where we can kind of see our heart drifting at. And it's frustrating because it's like, man, God has already revealed himself. He already showed that he's for you. Why do you continue to doubt? Why do you continue to doubt?
What would you do if he walked into the room?
Hello!
What up, y'all? What up?
Welcome back to another vlog.
Another vlog. Got a good morning start. Devotion. I was kind of doing the stand up to midnight, 1 o'clock. It's all the same. You still only got that 8-9 hour, 10-hour window that you're gonna work or that you're gonna be up. So I just kind of shifted mine, but now I'm shifting back to the morning.
Okay.
Because I'm just seeing how much it affects the family when I'm up late. Then everybody's up late, and I sleep in because, like, regardless, my body needs to get that 8 hours in.
Well, hold on. The late night is okay. It's like a balance for us because that's how we get our time together.
I know, but when I'm up late, everybody else kind of just stays up late. When we're up late in the den area, Emery hears us, so she's up late.
She's up, okay.
It just doesn't work. And then you can sleep, you can go to bed at like 12, 1 and then pop up at 7. If I go to bed at 1, I still need 8 hours. So I'm not getting up until 9, 10 o'clock. And it just doesn't work.
So you're gonna go back to how back then, last month, we were in bed by 8.
I know, that's when it works the best.
Okay.
It works the best. We are pretty much chilling today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of content day. We're supposed to be kind of packing for a potential trip back home. Taylor's brother is graduating.
College.
Yeah, so we're still working out the details. We're just figuring out the rental situation and just going back home.
Yeah.
We've been in I feel like God has just isolated us in this season, very intentionally, but it's been so good and it's been so productive because it's really allowing us to focus.
Yes.
Like, you see that quote that's like floating around, like if you lock in for 6 months, you can change your whole life.
Yes.
I feel like that's been
us.
That's literally been the story of our life, the quote of our life. And he's really forced us to like really focus
Put our heads together.
Yes, and it's been minimal distractions. Obviously, since the car's been gone, we haven't been just
going out anywhere.
Just taking trips or just store runs and just spending extra money. It's like, y'all groceries, you gotta pick them in advance, know what you want. You wake up, there ain't nowhere to just roam, right? Because we have like plazas nearby, but you gotta drive, so it ain't like we can just get lost. It's like, wake up, spend time with God, focus on your craft, it's like being a parent. It's just it's super dialed, it's super focused. And at first we were like super resistant to that, especially like when the car engine went out and we were just kind of, at first we were soaking in it of like, man, we don't got no car, can't get, like we were just kind of soaking, but now I think we're seeing the fruit of it. We're seeing the beauty of it.
We kind of don't really need a car.
You adapt.
we have adapted for sure. Like if we really need to go somewhere, there are things like Ubers. Thank God someone thought of like Instacarts and DoorDashes.
I could say like more than having the ability to drive and move around and spend money, we need to focus more than anything.
Yes.
We were just watching 2819. Philip Mitchell. He was just saying like sometimes God will engineer a situation or a circumstance in which he pushes you to where you're supposed to be at. And it's oftentimes down a pathway or a road that you wouldn't have chose.
Avoiding probably too.
You wouldn't have chose for yourself. And that is the story of our life. We took this leap into entrepreneurship, but we wouldn't have went down this path.
I'm sure
we would have chose a safe path.
Of course, but if we would have seen in advance all that has occurred,
we wouldn't have did it.
We
wouldn't have taken this path. We would have probably stayed in the comfort.
We
would have stayed in the comfort of the job.
And I see that this could happen,
but we wouldn't have evolved into the mindset that we have. We wouldn't have had the level of relationship that we have with God. We wouldn't have understand the concept of daily bread and devotion.
Yes.
There's just so many concepts. So that's how you know that God is working in you. You took this leap of faith and you think that, okay, because I'm pouring more into God and I'm spending more time with God, that my life is going to get better. Most times it'd be the opposite because sometimes we go into God looking for things and he just wants us to just dwell in his presence. So that's what I thought. I thought like, okay, now that I'm spending even more time with God in my devotion, I'm praying way more, I'm reading, I got the ability to fast, I got all this time. I'm thinking, oh, we out of there. And it honestly feels like the opposite. It feels like things have like sunk lower. But you really experience God's presence when all the things are gone. So
and we definitely have been.
Well, that is it. We're gonna try to make it interesting for y'all. Just showing y'all a little bit of our routine and what we do. Probably do a little bit of cleaning up. I need to go run. I've been on a run journey, but that's it.
Okay, y'all, Rob is on his run and I'm currently up here trying to organize my mind. I feel like my thoughts are just kind of everywhere. I feel like I have so many things that I need to do, but I cannot figure them out. So I'm taking the time to write down pretty much my to-do list of things that I have been pondering on doing, need to do, want to do, so I can kind of just, again, declutter my mind. So as I've been staring at the sticky note with one thing listed for the last 5 minutes, I've only come up with one thing, which is funny because any other time I'm sitting down thinking, I begin to get fluttered with so many tasks, but neither here nor there. After breakfast, we typically send Emery upstairs to play. That's okay. I am pretty convinced she's a FOMO baby. Like she's got FOMO so bad, but so does her mama. But she just has this issue with, now don't get me wrong, she can play by herself. She would totally get lost in her imagination once like she kind of gets over the hump of having to actually go up in her room. I think she associates getting sent up to her room as if she's in trouble. So there's like this whole crash out, crying, oh my God, I don't want to go to my room kind of energy that she gives in the beginning. And then I kid you not, when we all go upstairs and then we send her to her room and we have to tell her a couple times like, hey, stay in your room, play, like this is how you play. We even play with her a little bit to like show her like this is how you can have your imagination. You're in the kitchen cooking, you're being a princess. She'll kind of pick up on it. And then I kid you not, like 10 minutes later, she's lost in her imaginative world. So that is what we're doing right now. Now we add the baby in the room sometimes for one, to grow the relationship and just so Emery can become more comfortable and just more aware of her being a baby. And honestly, as Amore is growing older, she's able to be around a lot more. And we've been teaching Emery and trying to show her like, you know, Amore could be one of your characters in your imaginative world. She is a customer at your restaurant cooking in the kitchen, or she is a peasant because you are the princess. Like, I don't know. The imagination is endless. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to grow their sisterly bond. But really, though, we're just trying to teach our kid about independent play because I think it's very important. And it creates a balance because mommy and daddy do work. short you just seen me doing, I wanted to quickly share the message that I was just recording. The realization that me and Robert had come across on our journey to entrepreneurship not too long ago about the importance of your daily bread. You know, the prayer that we grew up saying, Matthew 6:11, give us this day our daily bread. It personally went over my own head, and I didn't understand it to its fullness until we were faced with certain situations to where what we had for the day needed to be enough. This went with money, this went with food, and it's just so profound how we as entrepreneurs and people who are entrepreneurs in general, they like to see things and forecast things to the T of like, this is what this should look like at the end of the month. This is what this needs to look like by the quarter. And this is what this needs to make in total in 2 years, like whatever, right? But God has grounded us in a way where giving us our daily bread needs to be enough. We have enough food to eat. We have enough money to pay a bill that's due today. And we don't need to worry about the bill that's due next week, because one thing God wants us to do is to be faithful with the bread that we do have for the day and not put tomorrow's weight on our shoulders of today. And yes, be faithful to what you have today. Matthew 6:34, my favorite verse. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, because tomorrow has its own anxieties. Today is sufficient enough, okay?
This is our Mac Studio, our main workhorse where I do all of my editing and everything that you see on our channel. We edit off of this, and then I have the Samsung SSD, which I edit off of. Give me an extra 2 terabytes of storage. Baby's a beast. I think I'll be good with it for at least a couple more years. So I gotta be quick.
We're gonna talk about yours because that's what you need.
So I'll pick it up. So here's a little behind the scenes of how we film some of our shorts, but also just what we use to make these videos. So obviously we have our tripods, which is actually something you don't want to be cheap with. Anywhere between that $60 and $80 range is where you get like the decent tripods. Now they do have tripods that are like $400 or $500. Not saying you have to go do that, but definitely don't go and get the $20 ones. They are just cheap and they just break, and it's not worth it. Trust me, I've wasted so much money on it trying to be cheap. Then we have our cameras, man. You see we use the ZVE1 and we use the ZVE10 Mark II. These are just really good cameras. They are expensive, but in this day and time, you got to put your best foot forward, especially if you're planning to do this full time. It's an investment. You know, think about brands and working with different companies. They want to work with creators who have a certain level of quality. You personally may be at that point where using your phone is enough for you, but when that time comes and you want to upgrade, don't be scared. Make that jump. We'll probably make another video going in depth about everything we use, so stick around. What would you say? 2 is good for the week, right?
2 is safe.
Yeah, because that's something that I like to let flow. And then Rob, like POV, Dad's in charge of. Like I love doing those because I'm already cooking at least 2 meals anyway a week. So if I could challenge myself to like, okay, each week you got to do at least 2. So as y'all see, this is just how we are working through our content. This is how we're just figuring it out. We're just making it work. All right, crazy content session, filming, talking, planning. Now I'm catching up on dinner. As you see, it's like, hey, my watch always wrong. But it's like 7 o'clock now. It just flies, bruh. One thing that I really enjoy about like creating content full time is simply just, I really love that, one, I get to document all these memories. And I'm the type, I think I talked about it, maybe not, but I'm the type, I keep all these. So I keep all my footage, I don't delete anything. So one, it's just like, I'm a memory hoarder in a sense where I can just go back and look at all these memories. So there's that aspect. But then two, like, being a full-time content creator has me more organized than I've ever been in my life, because one, you have to like be organized enough to just like live life. But then you gotta be twice as organized because you have to film all of it. And with filming a food process, like normally I could cook up spaghetti in 30 minutes, but the setting up of the camera, making sure the settings, if you're running 2 cameras like I'm doing now, or you're trying to feed your little one, it just requires organization. And I have not figured it out, having systems in place so you can be successful, because trust me, there are ups and downs. There's times where the baby just won't stop crying, and like we planned to film at 1, and at 1 she decided to turn up, and now we're filming at 3, maybe. Or sometimes that content gets pushed back. So it allows you to like learn how to just ride the wave, just to appreciate the ebbs and flows. But then it also teaches you how to push through certain things when the house is hectic and it's chaotic and there's just too much going on. Like now, and you want to be discouraged. You want to just be like, you know, I'm tired, let's just get dinner and just be done. I ain't gotta film this. It gives you a layer of just pushing through. So trying to get her fed before 8 o'clock so we can put her down. Oh yeah, she turned up. I'll see y'all in the next clip, man.